All right, we're just getting some new information on the president's Supreme Court pick, Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Armando Raja was on Capitol Hill with more. Armando, this has to do with something he said just 2 years ago, but they could play a very big part of his confirmation process.
Yeah, no question about it. 2 years ago, Judge Brett Kavanaugh expressed the desire to overturn a 3-decade Supreme Court ruling that upheld the constitutionality of an independent counsel. And now this is bound to get new scrutiny in his confirmation proceedings to sit in the high court, especially since he's raised concerns previously about whether a sitting president can be indicted. Now, in this video that we're about to show you, he was raising concerns about a ruling known as Morrison v. Olson from 1988 that upheld the constitutionality of the independent counsel law under a law known as the Ethics in Government Act. And that's actually the same law that governed the work of Ken Starr, who, of course, investigated President Clinton and who Kavanaugh worked with for 4 years in the mid-90s. Now, this is important today, not just because of his previous skepticism about whether a president can be indicted, but also about whether Kavanaugh views the Mueller appointment as constitutional. But it's important to note there are distinctions between a special counsel like Bob Mueller and an independent counsel like Ken Starr. A special counsel has less independence, has to report directly to the Justice Department, and they're governed under a different set of regulations. However, because of this Morrison ruling that Kavanaugh had concerns with, the special counsel Robert Mueller cannot be removed without good cause. So if it were overturned, presumably he could be removed for any or no reason whatsoever. Now, in 2016, Judge Kavanaugh said this when speaking to a conservative group here in Washington.
I think justices of all stripes agree that stare decisis is important, but not an inexorable command. It's not inflexible. It's not absolute. And if it were, well, you would have some horrible decisions still on the books.
Can you think of a case that deserves to be overturned?
Yes.
Would you volunteer one?
No.
Pending confirmation hearings. Yes, sir, right here.
Thank you very much.
Actually, I'm going to say one. Morrison v. Olson.
That's the independent counsel statute case.
It's been effectively overruled, but I would put the final nail in.
So again, the ultimate question is what that means about the Mueller investigation and how he views a special counsel and whether or not he views that as constitutional, given a special counsel is different than an independent counsel. But undoubtedly, members of Congress are going to ask that question, especially since he did write a 2009 Minnesota Law Review article expressing some significant concerns and skepticism about whether a sitting president can be indicted. And Poppy, if issues like the subpoena to force the president to testify before the Mueller investigation get before the Supreme Court, in which Kavanaugh, if he were a justice and is confirmed, weighs in on it, how does he view the constitutionality of the Mueller probe? That's a question. Also, how does he view that special counsel protection legislation that's pending in the Senate? And does he view that as constitutional? Because of his skepticism of that ruling, perhaps he does not view that as constitutional as well. Another key question going forward, Poppy.
Yeah, the problem is what's the answer going to be, Manu? Because if you believe history, ever since Justice Bork was up for confirmation, you're not going to get as candid an answer in these confirmation hearings as he gave at that Q&A session. Not anywhere close to it. Manu, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Question.